Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Sugar Oasis. Playing on the northern side as the Tau Empire, we've got Bad's El Bandido. And playing on the southern side, playing as the Necrons, we have got Master Yerba. Master Yerba will be opening up with a fistful of Bill of Scarabs, a Necron Warrior Squad, and a couple of Plasma Generators. Whereas El Bandido is going to go for a couple of Stealth Suit teams, a Jetpack Research, Tower Barracks, and a Plasma Generator. It's been an odd week for the channel, with lots of weird and unusual games, so I'm quite keen to just see a normal, bog-standard game, 1 vs 1, with 2 very accomplished players in the Dawn of War Soulstorm bunch. I'm quite excited to see what these guys are going to be going forward with. I can see some Fire Warriors going straight into the Tower Commander for El Bandido. Sometimes you might see the Tau go for the Vespids to do some harassment against the Necrons. But to be honest, like, early game aggression against the Necrons, it either goes really, really well or really, really bad. In the sense that, well, I mean, you've got all these Bill of Scarabs that can repair any damage that's been done. You're going to have Necron Warriors coming out anyway. Sometimes there'll be a Ghost turret placed near all the juicy bits. So, you know, it's kind of a hit or miss, really, when you want to be very aggressive again against the Necrons in the early game. So we're going to see some Fire Warriors instead. Helps with the capping. I mean, on Sugar Oasis, there are plenty of places to be capping anyway, so an extra capping squad is always a good shout. And then with the Tau, because the Necrons early game, I mean, what the Necron Warriors do more damage in close combat than in range, so makes sense to go for some Fire Warriors to beat them back and such. But the Necrons, I mean, they've got some Wraiths. The Wraiths can type the Fire Warriors in close combat, phase shifting to get into close combat without any, you know, worry of them being shot down too quickly. Fire Warriors aren't exactly maneuverable. I mean, the Tower Commander can jump around and such to avoid any kind of close combat stabbings. And then, of course, you've got the Tower Commander teleporting around everywhere. Well, not teleporting, he's jumping around everywhere. And, you know, providing some good fire support. Necron Lord, very similar, teleports around, but then, because he actually teleports, but he's got some other bits and bobs going on for him. Not so much in the early game, though. Gonna wait for that Forbidden Archive before he unlocks his full utility potential. Is the first engagement of the game as Necron Warriors move on forward. Beautiful yellow colour as the Tower Commander leapfrogs over into the base and seeing what he can see. He won't see any Ghost turrets, so might be able to snipe down a Builder Scarab unit or two. Even though they are quite slow, other Builder Scarabs, in comparison to maybe some other factions builders. The survivability in a multiple model squad does make them quite hard to snipe out, unlike, say, for example, a Servitor or a Heretic. So that's, again, another reason why harassing the Necrons in the early game doesn't really... I mean, he's not achieving much here, but he is at least keeping the Necron Lord inside the base. Got some Bill of Scarabs thinking about going towards the relic over yonder. And a squad of 6 Necron Warriors, in fact, auto-reinforce themselves. Wouldn't normally see a full pack of boys for the Necrons. Quite expensive in the early game, but they're going to be going over onto the left-hand side as the Tower Commander is being chased around by this Necron Lord. Stealth Suit team, Silent Hunters, ready to cap and decap things as and when they can. The relic has been captured and been built on, but the Earthcast Builder, 250 health, one of the lowest health builders in the game. And we don't often talk about builder units in Dawn of War casts and such, but they are quite important things to take into consideration. Not usually the game-defining unit, but always a thing to keep into your brain bits. Fire Warriors opening fire. Necron Warriors are going to be a slow walk away. They do have their summoning cost. They can go back home as and when they fancy. They are the Vespids. So not going for the straight away play for them. Just letting them to come out later on. Now the Stealth Suit team can do some decapping. They're outnumbering the Necron Warriors, but Necron Warriors got a good bit of knockback in their melee attacks. So going against Necrons and melees is always a bit of a here, there, and everywhere kind of thing. Superior maneuverability will allow them to harass everyone on the map. And to be fair, Sugar Oasis, if we just take a quick cheeky ganders, is quite a wide map with lots of, I mean, what, there's 3 different lanes quite spaced apart with negative cover in betwixt all of them. So fast maneuverability will be an advantage on a map such as this. Necron Warriors, they're a bit stuck at the moment. I wonder if the Summoning Corps has only just finished and they've got to wait a bit of time to regen their teleporting stuff. That makes sense. Vespid's now going to try and take down another obelisk. Not a huge problem for the Necrons. You can replace them for 25 green if memory serves. But obviously, that then reduces your building speed and such. Which is not what you want. Well, not reduce the building speed. You know what I mean. Makes you build and stuff slower from your monolith. Comes some flayed ones, which is an interesting choice. Will be good for tying up the fire warriors, but I don't know if they'll help you so much with the Vespids. Vespids have already used their discombobulation on the obelisk down over yonder. Building will be repaired as Necrons capture the relic on the right-hand side. Necrolord teleports into the tower base and starts slapping the listing post, but 2 fire warrior squads will not be able to tie both of them up. So there is one with free reign at firing over at those Necron warriors. 2 models left in there at the moment. Well, 3 now because they're reinforced, but going to auto-reinforce those guys. Even in the negative cover, the fire warriors are able to get some distance on the flayed ones. All this firepower taking them down, but that is 2 fire warrior squads, giving the Necron Lord a little bit of space to take down the listing post. FCAS builder coming up, but not in time to repair that listing post. Decap going on there. Tier 2 on the way for El Bandido. Current economy is 92 and 30 compared to 60% and 80. Quite a sizable build percentage and money situation for the Necrons. And are you in Tier 2 as well? You are not in Tier 2. You're actually just chilling out in Tier 1 at the moment. So the tower, while being a little bit behind economically and map control-wise, I would say, in comparison to the Necrons. Wonderful use of teleporting to keep those Vespids at bay. What was I going to say? Yeah, they might have the map control and all that stuff advantage. The tower will have a slight tech advantage at the moment. Going to go straight for those Pathfinders will help them break down any kind of unit from a distance. And if they can get that going on before the Necron Lord has got his... Oh, whatchamacallit, his Solar Pulse and his phase shift, there we go. They can get all that down, maybe snipe him out before he's able to get it, but strangely enough, speaking of the devil, he shall appear. Forbidden Archive being built on the front lines. You might be wondering, Mr. Landshark, why is he building it on the front lines? Well, sit down and let me tell you for why. Essentially, Forbidden Archive, once he's researched all his bits and bobs, then it's ultimately just a useless structure. He doesn't need it anymore, so throwing it there will slow down the tower just a little bit, as they will need to kill it, just in case the Necrons use it for a teleporting thingy-madoodad. And Tier 2 just finished for Necrons as well, so there goes the phase shift. I imagine there'll be a Solar Pulse and the Phylactery in there as well. Phylactery, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. There we go, it's got it all done, so happy days. Stealth Suit team going for a couple of Fusion Blasters. Solar Pulse stopping that Tower Commander from doing any business. But the obelisk has gone down. And the tower nice and spread out, just to avoid that one Solar Pulse taking out all their firepower. So there we are. Over in the centre, we have got a Fire Warrior squad trying to take down a Wraith. Wraith stabs a Stealth Suit team to death. And the critical locations are being hotly contested by all the players at the moment. Necron's going to go for the one on the right and the left. Necrons have also got their disruption fields upgrade as well. So all the good stuff from them. Centre at the moment, well defended by the tower, but the Necrons are uncharacteristically going to go for the flanks. Longer distance for them to travel. But maybe that's what they're banking on the tower not to expect. That range damage increase does do a massive help, especially when taking down listing post. Got Fire Warriors bolstered by some Pathfinder teams at the moment, and the Wraith coming forward. Very fragile unit. Let's got its phase shift on. Only a couple of volleys is required to take down a Wraith when its phase shift isn't up. An Archive been taking care of a Thermal Plasma Generator as well. That's going to be hard to defend from the massive Necron Warriors if they decide to go on the right-hand side, but thankfully they're on the left-hand side, so maybe that's why they're building up the Thermo as of now. Necrons have now got 100% on their build and reset speed. Wraiths are just coming out fast and loose. Maximum squad cap for the Necrons as well. That's the one issue with the Wraiths, is that pound for pound, there's not much health on the board when you've got a fistful of Wraiths there, but if used correctly, you could do a damn fine job taking out single targets like builders, commanders and such. Attempting to do their best to delay this thermoplasma generator. FCAS builder free to build as the Necron Wraiths are being knocked around by the missile launcher or the Tau commander. So they fall back and let them do their thing. Necron Lord trying to bother and pester the Fire Warrior teams, but there's too many of them. There's just a lot going on at the moment, and when you consider that the stealth suit teams are also able to go into the Necron side of things and start blasting things up as well, that stealth ability won't do much for them as the Build Scavs have infiltration detection, but you can certainly burst down a building or a vehicle or two if they so wish. And with the Necrons, I mean, they've lost a couple of Wraiths, so that frees up some squad cap for them. But they do have a lot of vehicle cap that they can make use of. Although the vehicles for Necrons are quite limited. They've essentially got 3, if you don't include the Lord Destroyer. And what they've got: Destroyers, Heavy Destroyers, and Tomb Spiders. And a lot of Fire Warriors. It'd be really hard for the Necrons to deal with them in a range scenario. And if the Tau go for the... I mean, Barracudas maybe not be the idea here unless they want to keep away from the Wraiths, but I assume maybe a couple of Devilfish troop carriers wouldn't go amiss if they can kill all the Builder Scarabs. Actually, no, that's a lie. No, ignore me. No, the Wraiths will be able to spot them. So maybe that's not the way forward. Forward placement for a vehicle beacon. Another brave choice. Vespids and stealth suits up in the base at the moment. Necrons have got that thermoplasma generator as well. That probably should be the prime target for the Tau at the moment, as that is a stupid amount of money that the Necrons can get from owning that building. Which is kind of their right, really. I mean, looking at the terrain of this map, these places are more Necron adjacent. Vehicle beacon has been denied and delayed from El Bandido. Beautiful use of the snare traps to keep the Wraiths on the back foot at the moment. A John seeing the beam to prevent the Fire Warriors from firing. And the thermoplasma is about to be nil point as the Immortals add their considerable DPS to the fore. But that is just that is a death ball right there. Even if you tie up a couple of Pathfinders and Fire Warriors, that is going to be a remarkable amount of damage being done, especially if they've got their ranged upgrade on there, which I assume that they have. Necrolord teleports in. He's got one on the go. One Fire Warrior squad in the mix. Tau Commander very low health at the moment. Be very careful. You don't want to lose him at this stage of a assault. Phase shift keeps the Wraiths and the Necron Lord alive. But as I say, even with all this melee stuff on the go, Fire Warriors can just hold the centre, doing what they can. Gone for a couple of Chassuis as well. This is your daily reminder to Tau players, if you're just learning the game. That shield run might look very tempting, but ideally you want to be going for double Chassuis rather than any kind of ranged defence. Even with the shield drones, your Tau are probably going to die quite quickly anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. And there's the Barracudas. Okay, alright. That would make sense. If you're going to go for a massive Wraiths and such, especially if the Necron Lord throws down a Solar Pulse, you can easily reposition with the Barracuda to a more offensive stance. It seems like Necron's now just going to go for as many Wraiths as their build will allow them to. Taking down buildings, decapping them, keeping that constant harassment on the go. It's not looking very favourable for the Necrons at the moment. They have now got a Destroyer to help with maybe just a bit more stodgy, a bit more health and vehicle armour. Which the Fire Warriors, while they're not designed to kill vehicles, the mass of them will be able to break down a destroyer's armor relatively okayly. If okayly is a word, if I'm allowed to say that. Thank you very much. Wraiths taking their way through a Pathfinder team. One man survives. Well done to him. And the triple Wraiths. A dangerous trio. Yeah, the vast majority of the squad cap for the Necrons is just based on Wraiths at the moment. They've got an Immortal squad going on there. They have a Ghost up placed here. I suppose just to be a pain in the arse. It's fair enough. But all that money has not seemed to have done Necrons that many favours. The Wraiths will be incredibly annoying to take down. But consistent fire will be the watchword for today, I think. If the Tau Fire Warriors can just survive the initial burst of the Wraiths, happy days for them. Doom Spider's gone for a particle projector to project those particles. Also ready and able to repair, well not repair, but recycle any Necrons out on the go. Vesper's being a nuisance on the right hand side. Big push from the Wraiths at the moment. As the Tau firing line opens all hell. Necrons are in the heavy cover, but one thing that I've neglected to mention so far is that Necrons just don't care about heavy cover. They don't benefit from it, but they also don't suffer from the negative aspects of the negative cover. So, you know, there's that. Fire Warriors now making use of the Devilfish troop carriers. 750 health. Very hard to keep Tau vehicles alive in general, really. Well, there's a Solar Pulse. So the Tau are now free to try and do some engagements without the risk of that happening. The Tomb Spider is resurrecting some of the boys. Second Necron Monolith as well. So they've got this dude just for interesting stuff, and then this dude to punch out as many free Necron Warriors as they want. And while the Tau were looking quite strong a couple of moments ago, a couple of Necron Warrior squads coming out. That's going to be quite a sizable amount of health to chunk through with your Fire Warriors, considering that you are still in Tier 2 at the moment, and the Necrons are now in Tier 3. Doom Spider is dead. So at this point, do the Tau go on the defensive and try and catch up, or do they submit the map control to the Necrons? I don't know how I feel about that, though. There's lots of dead Necrons around that the Tomb Spiders can make use of. Well, it's quite hard to stop a Tomb Spider from doing what it's doing. It's worth a shot, right? But no, they've got two. And while the Tau have got more damage on their side, the Necrons have got more survivability. It's easier and cheaper to replace a Necron squad when you've got a couple of Tomb Spiders in comparison to a Fire Warrior squad. Also firepower coming in. And was that the Tau Commander dead? I do believe that was. Oh no, you're not. Ah, but now you are dead. Okay, alright. The Caster's Care striking once again. But a nice concave. As I say, El Bandido doing a wonderful job at spreading out his Tau to prevent them from all being encapsulated in one tie-up. But for every Necron that falls, another three take his place. And that Solar Pulse is cooldown isn't actually that incredibly large, to be honest. Not at this stage of the game. So being pushed well back to the base. Having to hide behind their listening post for defensive reasons, but this listening post is not upgraded. And struggling a bit with their anti-vehicle stuff as well. The Barracudas do a fair bit of anti-vehicle, but maybe might need some stealth suit teams. Oh no, you have got a stealth suit team. Been all stealthy in the middle and I didn't realise it. Oh, but you've got no fusion blasters. Questionable. I mean, those fusion blasters are quite expensive, and your stealth teams do die pretty easily. So maybe just investing in the Barracudas. There are the pariahs on the field. And they come moseying forward. Marker lights been placed on the pariahs. 8,800 health. That is stupid health. I mean, even the Necrons are... Yeah, full scroll Necrons is quite close to that amount in comparison to Fire Warriors. 6 men with 2 Chassois. That's like not even half the amount of a fully fledged Necron squad. Getting that damage done. The Necrons don't care. They've got the beef, they've got the thickness. Moving forward, scaling Necrons back a bit. Take out listing post. Then going back a smidgen. A gradual grinding of death. I mean, even like the artillery that the tower have access to, the Sky missile gunships, or whatever you call them. I mean, they're big artillery for that is just one singular big blue for that they throw down, which isn't enough really. You need that consistent knockdown. If they're able to pound this position with lots of artillery, again, I know, Mr. Landshark, you're suggesting artillery. Once again, I appreciate that. That would hold them into position, slow them down even more so than normal. That gives your Tau followers more chance to do their job. But no such thing is allowed here. When focusing down one singular squad, it's doing a grand old job. But that Necron Lord, man, in fact, actually, if they could probably take out the Necron Lord, that might be able to sway them. That Solar Pulse and Phase Shift is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in keeping the Necron Warriors alive. And spread out as much as they can. Got to make sure that they all push together as one. There's the Solar Pulse. But the Necrons are now the ones on the returning bit of fire. As much firepower as they can. Coming forward. Still in Tier 2 there. And they might have enough money now to actually afford Tier 2 if they want to buy it. Going to build that building, obviously, but it's now available to them. Necronlord now goes around the right side. Centre looks like it's... Oh no, you've still got a lot of Fire Warriors. Not bad stuff. A couple of fire teams on left hand side. Necronlord keeps on their toes. Well, teleporting back to where? Where did you teleport to? Where did you teleport to, Necron Lord? Oh, down with the pariahs. Ready to inspire the men. Send them forward. Like I say, they don't suffer the negative effects of the negative cover, so they're quite fine and comfortable being down here. A sizable amount of Necron Warriors here. I mean, maybe the idea is just to decide, rather than go down the middle and suffer the effects of all the Tau, go down the flanks. That way you cut off one chunk of Fire Warrior stuff. Trying to build up a Kion command post. Mortals going dead. There is the restored monolith. And I don't think the Tau have got the stones. They are now quite well and truly out-teched. It's not just a case of, oh, it's Tier 2 versus early game Tier 3. We've now got a full-blown relic unit on the pitch at the moment. Going for that Destroyer Lord. El Bandido doesn't even need to engage that Necron Monolith. He knows that against a fully fledged army of Necrons. Going for, I mean, double Lord Destroyers. That is quite excessive, but yeah, no chance going on there. But, you know, with the tools and resources that El Bandido had, he was using absolutely everything, including using the terrain to the best of his advantage as well. So just too much in the way of Necrons. You can see on the pitch at the moment how there's just dead Necrons absolutely everywhere. There was an unrelenting battle going across every corner of the map, and it just gradually tore down the Tau, unable to really tech up because they were too busy having to reinforce and rebuild lost units and such. Absolutely stellar game from both players. So there we go. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets one game a week. And there's also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As with Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.